welcome back to the final round of the Singapore Open, which is going to be played between Edison and Wilson Foong.
Yeah, Edison Tam versus Wilson Foong, both players sitting at 4-1. A win would secure them top cut for tomorrow. A loss, well, neither player really wants to think about the possibility, but it probably knocks them out of contention for top cut.
Yeah, it depends on whether any of the 4-2s are able to get into top cut in the first place.
I suspect not.
So obviously a 5-1 would be the best scenario to ensure a top cut placing.
Yep.
So Wilson, actually somewhat similar to Benjamin, is fresh off a pretty good finish at the Malaysia Regionals, I believe ending at a top 4.
Yeah, he's had a good run with this particular, well, especially since he's picked this particular Mega, which is the Venusaur. He's had a good run. He cut at least one mid-season showdown and 2 opens, followed by last week's regional. So he's on a good run with this particular team, this particular Mega, and it looks set to continue. But the last hurdle in his way for today, and really for the season, is going to be Edison Tam, who hasn't played as much this season. I think the last time we saw him was last format, if I recall correctly.
That's quite a while back, a year ago?
That was a year ago when he was still playing the likes of Alolan Ninetales and Specs Tapu Koko.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. But
he's come back with a vengeance.
He's a capable player. He did that last time we did see him. He did cut that mid-season showdown. I believe he actually went all the way to the final where he ended up losing in the end to Benjamin Tan.
Well, if he performs here and Benjamin does the same, they could look forward to a rematch in the top cut.
Different format, but
yeah, so
big
who
players
knows?
here. So
and at least it's a testament to his strength that he is placed at 4-1. And I believe at the very start of this tournament today, he was mostly undefeated. I think going at least 3-0.
Yeah, Edison started 4-0.
Oh, that's a very...
And before taking his first loss last round 2, the still undefeated JS deal from Malaysia. But JS has secured his place in top cut, going unbeaten so far. So he's not quite the placement of concern. Here we have Wilson Foong. The Foong spelled with 2 O's. So I believe Justin typed that wrongly.
No,
and that will be Tapu Koko, Landorus Therian, Tapu Fini, Cresselia, Incineroar, and the Venusaur.
And Edison has the Tyranitar, the Zapdos, Metagross, Landorus, Tapu Lele, and Amoonguss.
So Edison's team,
it's a bit reminiscent of the...
It's what we saw all the way back at last year's Oceania Internationals.
With the Psychic Terrain Zen Headbutt.
Actually without Zen Headbutt. But with the double Mega options with Mega Tyranitar and Mega Metagross. Whereas Wilson's team is a lot more... Something he's been playing for the last few tournaments. It is based around the Mega Venusaur, which, unless you have very specific checks, of which Tapu Lele is one, thanks to its psychic attacks under terrain, and potentially the Metagross if he has Zen Headbutt. But barring those, it can be hard to stop a Mega Venusaur once you start seeding everything on your team.
Yeah. Not only that, if the Lele becomes cheap, Venusaur could easily take out with a Sludge Bomb. It does have that poison typing going for it. We do see a Zapdos Metagross lead against a Tapu Koko and Landorus.
So interesting to see how this particular version of the team fares many months after the team kind of fell out of favor.
So Metagross at least dodges the Intimidate with its clear body ability.
For now, yes.
But doesn't really enjoy staring the Landorus potential Earthquake.
The Landorus ability we did see trigger before the Koko.
Oh, indicative of a Scarf? That's not really uncommon. A lot of players I think opt for Scarf because of that juicy Rock Slide flinch. But at this point, maybe a switch out into something that's immune to ground and Landorus can start going to work with Earthquake here.
Yeah, Metagross gonna switch out here. Amoonguss perhaps. It's gonna be a Lele. Because only the potential Earthquake. Or I suppose the Koko is still on the field. So he does at least remove the rain. So Giga Volt Havoc. Oh, and the C activation on his Zapdos. So Giga Volt Havoc into that slot, definitely not gonna KO now.
I want to see U-turn come out from the Landorus, going into the Zapdos. Bit of chip damage here.
Safe play. And able to bring in the Venusaur, I think.
Against a Lele, really? Didn't you just mention that Lele was one of the ways to check a Venusaur?
That's true. So
will be the Fini. So the terrain once again going in favor of Wilson.
But at the same time, it doesn't restore the damage on Tapu Koko's electric attacks. And it does go for the Volt Switch, so Landorus gonna come back in, almost definitely. Yeah,
the Intimidate a bit wasted considering that Lele and Zapdos both usually use special attacks.
But he does re-establish... Oh no, that's going to be Incineroar. So he actually didn't bring Venusaur.
No Venusaur, okay.
Perhaps wary of potential psychic attacks on Lele and Metagross.
I mean, Lele just switched in only, so and Zapdos goes for the tailwind here.
Well, based on these two, they were faster anyway. But a good play by Wilson not to bring in Landorus. And perhaps I think Wilson did predict the Tailwind. Which is why he didn't want to bring Landorus in, because the Landorus would immediately be threatened and unable to protect under the Tailwind.
And Incineroar coming in, I think is pretty good. The Fake Out should at least lock down one of Edison's Pokemon. Ideally would be the Zapdos, because it will enable his Fini to set up. You see a Focus
Blast on Tapu Lele. What item is this? Is it a Specs? Nah, that's not Specs. Good enough though. Lands his first Focus Blast as Tapu Fini goes for a Calm Mind. A relatively safe Calm Mind. Since we do at this point, he does at this point know that the Zapdos does not carry Gigavolt Havoc.
Oh right.
The Z Crystal.
With the seed activating, giving it special defense boost. That was rather scary though, the Focus Blast. Does Wilson want to chance another miss? Another attempt?
Edison is the one pressing Focus Blast.
Yay.
And if he lands, he's gonna KO the Incineroar.
Oof.
But Wilson has 2 fighting resist at the back. So that would be the safe play to make.
Zapdos does withdraw, so does give up that special defense boost.
But Landorus coming in to intimidate before a potential Landorus can come in for Wilson, which is unfortunate. As Incineroar is going to switch out as well. Yep. And there is going to be Landorus. So Wilson gets the intimidate onto the opposing Landorus. So not a great position for Edison.
And all the while Fini
racking up Calm Mind boost.
Yeah. With a +1, and we do see a Focus Blast. Landorus avoids the attack.
Landorus, but no miss on the Muddy Water. Lands on Edison's Landorus. With the boost.
That's a lot of damage. That's a KO. That's surprising. Well, not really that I think about it, but
yeah, it has the Calm Mind boost.
I think that's indicative that that Wilson's Tapu Fini is more offensively invested.
Yeah, Edison's Landorus not the bulkiest.
Metagross does come in, staring down the Landorus. Not something.
One last turn of Tailwind. So that's an easy Ice Punch into that slot. Or a Stomping if you predict the Incineroar. Which is dangerous because a Stomping into Landorus,
yeah, that's nothing. It will be a very hard read. But at this point, Edison needs something to pull out a hit. The Fini is becoming a big threat. Especially if he goes for one more Calm Mind boost.
You're going to switch out, hoping to restore terrain later in the game. And Zapdos comes back in. But no more Seed. Seed has already been used up. No more special defense boost. As Landorus is going to switch out, so did he call it? Here's Incineroar. No Intimidate because Metagross hasn't Mega Evolved yet.
Yes.
If he goes for anything other than Topping Tantrum, I think that's a berry for Incineroar.
And okay, we'll at least see the Mega Evolution. No, it'll be interesting to see whether the Fini goes for another Calm Mind boost or just decides to keep pressing Muddy
I think
Water.
at this point you just attack. There's no reason to get greedy.
Oh, Zen Headbutt.
He goes a Headbutt into the Incineroar.
Muddy Water doesn't miss as well. Connects with both Pokemon here. Could drop Metagross's accuracy. Drop Zapdos at least. And Tailwind has run out. I have to say that Edison hasn't made the most out of his Tailwind turns.
Yep, definitely.
And I don't really blame him. Zapdos, I mean, it's a pretty good Pokemon, but
he went a bit too hard after the Incineroar. And then when he came back in, he wasn't able to punish it either. But literally the worst option in this scenario.
Zapdos.
And now Wilson is all the more convinced not to bring his Venusaur after seeing Zen Headbutt on the Metagross.
Yeah, I think it's pretty smart on his play.
But Zen Headbutt will want to kill Fini at this point with the terrain. And I think Wilson recognizes that he needs to intimidate it with Landorus.
And I guess he can threaten with the Scarf Landorus Earthquake as well.
Well, we're going to see a Zen. No, it's going to be stomping out. And once again,
into the Landorus.
Edison is not making any sort of read on what Wilson is doing.
He's playing very straight, which I applaud him for, but he needs to come out ahead somehow. Muddy Water does miss the Lele, so he has that going for him. But this is just...
now Scarf Landorus is just going to finish
this is just 2 KOs for Landorus here with the Earthquake. It's... Once again, to the point of Zapdos, I think it's an okay Pokemon. I just feel that sometimes it's a bit underwhelming, doesn't really contribute much in terms of damage. And I feel here it's showing. Once Fini got the Calm Mind boost, it really has nothing to fear from Edison's team. Lele going for the Psychic into a Tapu Fini Protect here. And Metagross going for the Iron Hit into the Tapu Fini again. So essentially a free switch here for Wilson.
A fair play for Edison because he was still banking on a Rock Strike double miss anyway.
Tapu Koko retreats again. Bring Incineroar.
At this point, Wilson playing it safe, getting the revolving door of Intimidates in.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he just wants to get Landorus back in, and a position where he can just safely KO everything.
You see a Psychic into the Incineroar again. At least Ironhead does connect with the Fini. Will we see a flinch here? Does get a flinch at least.
But now Fake Out is online,
Yeah.
so you just Fake Out the Metagross, get the KO, and Lele can't really do anything to 1D kill. A +1, double Fini.
Yeah.
Edison is just fishing for, I guess, more information on what Wilson has. Because this game is absolutely a lost cause at this point.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but it is pretty in Wilson's favor. See a Fake Out, no protects coming out.
That's KO on Metagross.
Wow.
Edison really choosing not to delay the inevitable at that point. He needs a crit here, you know, to get any sort of foothold back. Doesn't get it.
Want to try fish whether it's a Waterium or it's a
Yeah, that's
Berry.
also true. But Muddy Water will take out the lady and leave it Zapdos against the wall.
How does Edison adjust from here though?
Among Us.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I guess it can clear Smoke away Tapu
Among Us
Fini's
Tyranitar.
boost.
I think it has to be Among Us Tyranitar.
I would agree with you, except that Wilson does have 2 Intimidators.
They are
And-
going to sleep. No worries.
I wouldn't be so sure about the Incineroar.
First things first, get rid of the Zapdos. Zapdos has to go. I'm not even sure why he's bringing the Zapdos for. Given that Fini is Calm Mind, and he is not Electrium. So he can't put on immediate offensive pressure. And once the Calm Mind goes up, he can't even put on offensive pressure, period. What use is the bulk against this particular build? He can't outstall the Tapu Fini.
Tyranitar, huh? Metagross, what do you think was the choice for Metagross?
Metagross was his choice because he saw the Venusaur coming. But Wilson was a bit too smart for him. Left the Venusaur at home.
Ooh, I wonder if Edison goes for, as you mentioned, the Tyranitar, Among Us, and then lo and behold, we see Wilson go with Venusaur.
Well, even then, Tyranitar uses Rock Slide as his primary move. So
Which
good luck, Venusaur.
It's a very nice 30% chance to flinch, yes.
Well, Crunch has nice effects too, so it's an option. And Coco and Incineroar for Wilson.
Will we see Tyranitar come out? No, it's still Landorus Zapdos.
Zapdos. It's still the Zapdos. At least Landorus is in a slightly better position than it was previously. Coco gonna get his surge off, revealing that Edison's own Landorus is not holding the Choice Scarf.
Yeah, that could be, that's important information.
Probably Attack Rage, given the Zapdos isn't carrying a Z Crystal of its own.
Assault Vest is a possibility as well, don't you think?
At that point, you kind of run out of viable Z move users. So maybe it is maybe it is the Lele after all.
Or Darkinium, Tyranitar is also not uncommon.
Now on this build, I think you would probably want Mega.
Okay, Zapdos looks primed to set up Tailwind once again.
As Fake Out onto the Landorus. And that is a Gigavolt Havoc into the Zapdos. Without a Seed Boost.
Oof, Electric Terrain boosted as well, has to be said.
Okay, I don't think this bodes well for Edison at all. Or maybe he just removes the away from the field, who knows?
Hey, trimming the fat. Let's just see how much damage this does. Oh my, that's a lot of damage. That's a clean KO.
The straightforward play as is really possible for Wilson. Edison tried to deny that in game 1 by switching terrain, but Wilson just didn't press the Z move button.
And he's forced to bring out Metagross.
Decent position here because he's got a double pin with the Tank Rage on the Incineroar and a Stomping on the Coco. So Landorus has to come in here. And I think that Edison at this point has to make a read. He's been playing it too straight. And Wilson's just making the easy switches. He needs to Ice Punch something and hope he catches the Landorus.
Which slot though? I mean,
Yes, that is the $1 million question here.
I mean,
It's gonna decide this set.
I think it's likely to be the Incineroar because you have a 2-for-1
No
of
switches.
That's
That's gonna be a Volt switch on the Coco.
let me finish my train of thought. Likely to be the Incineroar because you want to reset the attack, but
It looks like Coco's gonna Volt switch out. No, it's
No,
gonna be Protect.
okay.
Do we see a Stomping or an Ice Punch? There's a Stomping into the Coco. Is there a Tectonic Rage coming out? It is.
Oof.
Finally, Wilson walks into a straight play. I think he finally expected Edison to make a read.
And well, Edison did make a read. he made a read that Wilson
Was
will
not
stay in.
going. Yeah, Wilson was gonna stay in this time. And Tech Rage will remove the Incineroar. Even through the Intimidate from turn 1, or turn 0 rather. And simplify the board state for this turn now that one Intimidator has been removed. Which eases the burden on his Metagross since he has already Mega Evolved. And now Landorus has to make a choice because Coco has already burned his Protect. So Coco has to Volt Switch out. If the... Oh, actually he can't because again Landorus moves first. So now Wilson has to switch or not press Earthquake. If he doesn't press Earthquake, then Metagross can actually return KO with an Ice Punch.
He could risk the double protect with the Coco, but
That's
yes,
not worth it.
the Ice Punch on the Metagross should be coming onto the Landorus. And Edison sort of pinning Wilson into a bad situation here, I think.
Landorus has no option to one-hit KO Edison's Metagross. Well, he has to double up, I suppose, with Earthquake. But Earthquake will KO the Coco, so you can't double up even.
I mean, if you can KO the Metagross and at this point the Lele, I think you take it. But no, you see a U-turn.
And that's oh, he's gonna reveal the last slot. Last game he brought Fini.
Yeah.
Which will be good because he just changed the terrain.
And
yeah, it is the Fini. So Lele coming in for kind of no reason.
He did remove one of the only Pokemon that super effectively threatens Fini as well. Zapdos is no longer in the picture.
It's gonna be a double switch back to the Landorus.
That's a lot of chip damage that's going on to the Metagross.
The question now, where did Metagross target though? If you Ice Punch into a Fini, as the Edison has kind of been playing straight so far, it's gonna be a bit unfortunate. See, it's gonna be at -2 and the Fini does resist.
And Zen Headbutt comes out.
Has been intimidated twice, doesn't have terrain, and well, that looks like the kind of damage you'd expect to see.
That's still a lot of damage though, I feel.
Still though, Wilson can't really Earthquake freely. He has to protect every time he Earthquakes.
Or he could press the best move in the game.
I think that's how you lose the game in this scenario. He's still in a very strong position. If he takes the bait of going for Rock Slide, I think he might end up throwing it away. So the question now is, do we see a Shattered Psyche for Edison? Is Fini gonna protect itself? Maybe predicting the Shattered Psyche? Is Landorus gonna U-turn again? No, just goes for the Earthquake. It's not gonna be enough after the Intimidate. I'm not even sure it does half to Tapu Lele.
Considering it is spread damage. And a -1 attack, yeah. Just about 40%. Moonblast into the double Fini slot, which protected.
And now Edison can just double the double Fini slot.
Aye, it's already
and
burned through
Landorus
his
is blocked
protect.
himself into Earthquake.
And
so Landorus has to switch out into Coco.
Or at the very least, I don't think Fini is going to be switching out to Coco if the Landorus stays in.
So Landorus has to switch out, yep. Into the Coco, and I think Edison should just protect an Earthquake. Goes for the Moonblast into the Fini, it looks like. Doubling up into the Bond they protected last turn perhaps. But he doesn't want to activate a potential Berry. And I think Rock Slide will, actually no, it avoids, so.
So Fini free to fire off an attack here. Does it go for Carmine? Goes for Carmine, which I think is...
I'm not so sure that's the best option because now Edison can protect an Earthquake.
The special defense boost is not going to help it against,
Earthquake, yeah.
And Coco can't really stop Landorus here as well. It's already shown to have burned through his Gigavolt Havoc.
So Coco probably had to switch out into Lando again. It's going to protect itself. Protect Dazzling.
Volt Switch, I think, is coming out.
Oh, but that's Scarf Lele. And that's dead Coco, I think. Yup. So I don't think Wilson expected a Scarf on the Tapu Lele.
And Rock Slide. I mean, well, the Scarf is open. We have seen Tectonic from Landorus. So at the very least, I guess Wilson can confirm that for his...
But now, now Edison, all Edison needs to do is double protect to scout out what Landorus locks himself into.
Yes.
I mean, you do risk giving the Fini another Carmine, but at this point, you're carrying the Fini with physical attackers anyway.
Looking at the board state empirically, right? There's no way he's locking himself into Earthquake. That's just a way not to touch. He can't touch Edison's Landorus.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the Rock Slide.
It has to be Rock Slide.
Unfortunately for spectators and the health of the game as a whole, but it is going to be Rock Slide.
I mean, you have to bear in mind that Rock Slide does have a 5% chance to miss as well.
10.
Which
Here we
didn't
go.
happen.
Didn't
so.
happen here. We're gonna see Lele move first. Gets the Moonblast. Where does he go though?
Fini?
Ooh, he had come minded. Don't give him the berry.
Oh! Drops the special attack, I think.
But gives him the berry.
Oof. So he can survive a Earthquake here?
He's on a Rock Slide return, I think. If he doesn't flinch, gets his own Rock Slide. Does he get his own flinch? No, he does.
Oh,
He does.
I guess Wilson still has a slight advantage because his Landers is the fastest thing on the field. But he has to land the Rock Slides and has to get flinches in order for him to pull out a hit. And just bear in mind at the back of Edison's two Pokemon here is a Metagross, which Rock Slide is going to do absolutely nothing to.
He's gonna let it take free damage though. He's already down below half.
Yeah, at this point Wilson just needs to flinch the Landorus.
Yeah, not the most advisable of plays. If he flinches, I think he loses. But he just get a knockoff onto the opposing Landorus, but Muddy Water is going to clear the field. What is his game plan?
I
Dazzling Gleam?
do not know.
What is his game plan?
That is very strange. Very strange indeed. He was locked into Moonblast, which I felt was pretty okay. The Fini had already eaten his berry. All you need to do is just continually chip it down, and you could just position it in such a way that Fini would go down to a single Zen headbutt.
Now what do? You have to Psychic Landorus.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you Psychic Fini, you get a kill though.
I think you Psychic Fini and hope the Rock Slide misses?
Nah.
No. He Psychic
for
Landorus, gets the kill, but Fini just Moonblast in return.
Yes.
And that's the set.
That's game. I don't really agree with Edison's
I'm very confused by that switch.
Moves.
And the choice of knockoff. He needed Metagross to get an attack off of his own to win that set. And that's not, but you don't get it by switching it in. He needed to lose the Lele and get Metagross in for free.
Yes. I guess at the end of the day, Metagross was an answer to the Fini because although Fini was boosting with Karma and special defense, Metagross could just easily punish and kill it with Zen Headbutt considering it hits. So maybe Edison's priority should have been to target down the Landorus.
I'm trying to understand that play again because we had Wilson's Scarf Landorus going first.
Yes, with the Rock
and
Slide.
locked the Rock Slide.
Yes.
And we had Lele who could take one more Rock Slide.
I think so.
Or maybe not. That's the thing. Maybe Lele couldn't take another Rock Slide. In which case, I still think you fish for the miss.
Yeah, but okay. The Rock Slide did hit the Metagross, which means the miss didn't happen. But
no, as in, but thing is, it may have been a roll. I think he still should have played to the damage. We saw the Lele. The Rock Slide did about half of the Lele's remaining HP. So maybe another one could have taken it out. But at the same time, maybe it was a roll. Maybe he could have missed. And by switching the Metagross, he basically had the chance of only one attack. And that was the there was the attack that was doing less damage. And he didn't even try to flinch the Fini. It felt like he took his own options off the table. Because the Metagross, if the Metagross would come in unhindered, then Metagross I think wins because Metagross can ignore the Landorus.
Yes.
No matter what.
Yes.
And just punch the Fini.
Yes.
And the Landorus is forced to flinch while the Fini goes for protects.
Yes.
And it looked like a 5-hit KO of a Rock Slide, maybe even 6.
Nah,
which
it's
meant that
more.
Fini would have hit 5 or 6 protects in a row. That wasn't happening.
All
Edison needed to do was get Metagross in for free.
Yes.
It didn't even matter whether both Landorus and Lele went down that turn.
Because
he just needed Metagross.
And he needed Metagross not to flinch from the Landorus Rock Slide. That was all.
That was all. One flinch and he loses. One flinch and Fini still needs to hit Muddy Water.
Yes.
But the moment he doesn't flinch, Fini goes down to an Iron Hit.
There's a lot of percentages here because Iron Hit I don't think would be enough.
It was enough.
Oh, okay.
Fini was down.
But yeah, I disagree with Metagross coming in, just taking free damage like that. that was not the win condition. Maybe he identified that Lele would have been better.
In fact, that's the strangest thing. He called the alternative win condition, which was remove the chance of flinch by knocking off the scarf.
Yes.
Oh, that's even worse. Then he can earthquake next turn. Actually, no, that's terrible. Yeah, actually, what on earth was that? I'm very confused. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, now that you mention it,
You knock off the scarf. It's slower than you, sure, but then he can earthquake you.
I mean, knockoff technically is the most amount of damage that the Landerers could do to Wilson's own Landerers.
But you don't care about damage on opposing Landerers. The once you remove the Fini, you can Ice Punch Landerers at your leisure. He's locked into Rock Slide. Your Metagross, you have 150 your base defense.
And you outspeed the Fini.
Yes.
Able to land the hit first. Yeah, it's
a strange decision.
Mind-boggling, but
oh well. He might still sneak into top cut.
We shall see. We
shall see. But the guarantee him his own place in top cut is Wilson Foong. So back-to-back top cuts for Wilson. Cutting the regional in Malaysia, followed by the special here in Singapore. Congrats to Wilson, who we will be speaking to shortly. So stay tuned.
Yeah, now that you mention it, the knockoff on the scarf was... Oh yo.
Alright, so we're moving to interview with Wilson, so stay tuned. And I'm joined by a player who has booked his place in tomorrow's top cut, Wilson Foong, on a roll ever since he discovered Mega Venusaur in this format. So top cut in the regionals in Malaysia last week, and a top cut here in the Open. So congrats Wilson first and foremost.
Thank you.
And good luck in tomorrow's top cut.
Thank you.
But just going to the set there, were you surprised to see this rather old team archetype at this point in the season?
Actually, no, because all the while from the start of the season, I've been preparing for Metagross. So I sort of knew what he was going to do. Then on top of that, I had a bit of information. So that I think helped me during the match as well. Yeah.
So I think you made it very clear to yourself that Venusaur was not coming out in this particular matchup.
Yes, it was not suitable because there's a Metagross with Zen Headbutt and there's Lele, so I couldn't really bring it out. Although I very love to showcase what it can do, but unfortunately it's not the right call. So I didn't bring it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in game 1 we definitely saw the strength of the choices of your 4, because by bringing both Landerers and Incineroar, you're able to just forever put them on a revolving door between U-turn and switches, and the Intimidate just kept cycling, and you were able to make the correct calls. You were able to switch Landerers into Stomping, switch Incineroar into Zen Headbutt, etc. And it was just a really well played series of that particular game 1. And in game 2, I think it got a bit messy. So what happened to the game plan in game 2?
Actually, I didn't really know that his Landerers had the Z move. So
that's why Incineroar open.
Yeah. So I was thinking he might have wanted to switch. So I was looking what he would do. So because I actually thought of switching into Landerers, but in the end, I thought like maybe let's see what he can do. And then end up he just killed my Incineroar. Yep. So
yeah, you saw what happened, and
so
it was time to redraw that game plan.
Yeah.
So I think it came down to both of your Scarfers as well. In the late game, and you ended up choosing to lock yourself into the Rock Slide.
Yes. Because
I think at that point you had both Coco and Fini, so you couldn't Earthquake.
Yes, true. Yeah. Then also and also because the Metagross is not really in full health, it's really cheap about half.
More than half.
Yeah. So I could just muddy water and then cheat a little bit more with Rock Slide. So I thought that would be able to take it out. Yeah. So that was my game plan after I lost the Incineroar. Yeah.
So I think in game 1 we saw how hard the Fini was to take down. We didn't even see your berry trigger at all in game 1 because he just had no answer to the Fini after he got a Carmine boost.
Yeah.
So, but in this matchup, do you think one Carmine is the goal to go for?
Yes, actually I think one Carmine is more than enough because as you could see, it could one hit KO Landorus with Muddy Water.
Yep.
So and then it could chip about Mega Metagross about 40 plus %. So with a little bit chip from my partner, I could 2D KO the Metagross. So that's why I thought that one Carmine should be enough to for the rest of the match.
And do you find yourself bringing both your Tapus a lot to your matchups? And if you do, how do you really play with the terrains?
Basically, I switch around because I would only need the electric terrain when I need to use the Z move. So then actually Fini, I don't really need the terrain unless it's
more for denying your opponent's terrain.
Yes, correct. So that was my plan in case it switches in Lele, so I can either vote switch
or U-turn.
U-turn,
we saw the strength of the move is that you're sending Lele to deny your Coco and like, oh well, then just sending Fini.
So yeah.
And not just you switching Fini, you sending Fini on the exact same turn that Lele came in.
Yeah.
So which is a huge momentum breaker for him.
Yeah.
So once again, Wilson Foong making it into top card tomorrow, bidding to win the Open. It will be his first Open title.
Okay, I will try my best.
A very strong season for Wilson so far.
Yeah.
Well, congrats Wilson, good luck tomorrow, and we will see you all tomorrow. Myself, your caster has been me, Matthew Hui. You will see Wilson in top card tomorrow. My other caster has been Justin Lok. We will be joined by Martin Tan, who I believe has finally taken his one last ride and will be joining us at the commentary desk.
Yeah.
And we will see you tomorrow. So stay tuned.